Introducing Director of Department of Public Safety Standards and Training, Gary Gablitz.
Good morning, and thank you for allowing me to participate in your event this morning. I ask that for a moment you go back and consider what you were doing on the morning of Tuesday, September 11th, 2001. Some of you might have been 10 years old, some of you may not have even been born, and some of you were getting ready to go to work. Those of you who are getting ready to work or ready to go to school probably remember the unbelievable images you saw when you woke that morning on television. What we will never forget are the facts. 4 passenger airlines used as weapons. Unbelievable and horrific images broadcast live for us to see. Thousands of first responders springing into action to help innocent people and first responders in need of help. Throughout the day and evening, we would receive countless updates. The attacks of 9/11 killed more than 2,900 people, injured over 6,000 others, and caused at least $10 billion in infrastructure and property damage. What those of us in public safety sadly know is that there were hundreds of other victims and first responders who died on 9/11 of cancer-related or respiratory diseases in the months and years following the attacks, and sadly, people still continue to die from the events of 9/11. I join you this morning for 3 reasons. First, to remember the events that took place on 9/11 and the days, weeks, and years afterwards. Second, to honor the victims and their families, the people and crew members on the planes, people at work or going to work, tourists on the ground visiting the World Trade Center or the Pentagon, the first responders who gave their all to rescue thousands of individuals and co-workers impacted by the attacks of 9/11. Third, to thank those who wear a uniform and protect us here and abroad. I thank our first responders, law enforcement, fire, EMS, and others who protect our communities around the clock. I thank those who have served or are currently serving in our nation's armed forces, the Army, Navy, Marine Corps, Air Force, and Coast Guard. Your voluntary service as a member of our military, active guard or reserve, is greatly appreciated and never taken for granted. Simply put, I am here to remember and honor those impacted by 9/11 and to thank those who serve and protect us, and I ask that you do the same. Sadly, many communities around the country no longer take the time to remember the events of 9/11. I am very proud that the Keizer community hasn't forgotten the importance of this day and that you gather here each year to remember, honor, and thank those who served. We can never forget the events of 9/11, and I ask that you do the same. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Gablitz. I'd like to introduce Keizer Fire Chief Jeff Collin.
Good morning. As Director Gablitz said, September 11, 2001 was a morning like many others. Today is now about gratitude. There is always, always, always something to be thankful for. Let us be grateful it has not reoccurred. Let us be thankful it was not worse. There were missed targets at the Pentagon, the White House, or even some worse unimaginable tragedy. Let us be thankful. Remember the hours after September 11th when we came together as one to answer the attack against our homeland. We drew strength when our firefighters ran upstairs and risked their lives so that others may live. When rescuers rushed into smoke and fire at the Pentagon, when the women and men of Flight 93 sacrificed their lives to save our nation's capital. Let us be grateful. Let us be inspired to courage, bravery, service to others, like those on that day who sacrificed for others. Let us be grateful. This is Patriot Day. Remember when 3 firefighters inspired a nation by raising a flag above the ruins. Remember when flags were hanging from all front porches across America and strangers became friends. It was the worst day we have ever seen for many of us, but it brought out the best of us. Let us find hope on this day. Today we are overcoming other disasters. Hurricanes in Florida, Texas, flooding, earthquakes in Mexico, wildfires in Oregon, Washington, California, some that have even crossed state lines, making them the largest fires in state history again for 2 years running. Is this the new normal? We shall overcome. Let us have hope. Today is Patriot Day, a day of service. May our words be strength, kindness, compassionate. May they move you to volunteerism, service, spirit, faith, hope, charity, and of course love. Let freedom, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness also find you at peace. Let these words find their way into the hearts of others to find a way to serve others. Let us have faith. While September 11th is one of the worst days in our history, it also brought out the best in all of us. It unified us as a country and showed our charitable instincts and reminded us of what we stood for and stood against. Let us stand against poverty, hunger, injustice, racism, illiteracy. Let our strength be our resolve that our actions and kindness, and by the grace of God, let us be grateful for those who do. Today we remember, and may your God bless each and every one of you and yours. Let us forever be humbly grateful while we remember today. Please join me in a moment of silence. Thank you. I'd like to thank you for attending this morning. I hope you'll join us for some fellowship in our community room. I'd like to thank Anne-Marie for putting all of this together. It's a tremendous task. Too numerous details to even possibly count. I am grateful. Anne-Marie, have I left anything out? A wise chief always asks. Thank you. We are dismissed.